Welcome back to Willowbank Raceway for another episode of Wreckers Hotline Drag Racing 98. Today's event is the Winter Smash Repairs Track Championship Grand Finals. This is the final round of the series for all of the categories, from Performance Wholesale, the Natty Junior Dragster, right through to Wreckers Hotline Top Comp. Also on today's show, we're going to be taking another look at one of the categories of racing. We've been doing this right throughout the series of Wreckers Hotline Drag Racing 98. Today we're going to look at Kenlow Race Cars Modified Eliminator and the style of cars that run in that. And of course there's only one way to look at it properly, and that's to climb behind the wheel yourself. So I'm going to be driving Kenlow's new 8.3 litre drag racing school car. Now this car has been built and designed so that people off the street can be instructed in a 3-day course how to go drag racing themselves and actually drive this car on the track. We'll be telling you a little bit about that later on in the show. And of course, those track championship series, as many as 6 races in some categories, could take it out tonight. So settle back, strap yourself in, and enjoy 60 minutes of great drag racing.
There is a large contingent of racers here tonight for whom this event is definitely a do-or-die effort. I am of course referring to any racer who has accumulated enough points throughout the series to be in contention for a championship title. There are very few foregone conclusions here tonight, and Top Comp is a prime example of just how tough it is. Heading the leaderboard is Steve Swinsko on 300 points. A mere 25 points behind him is Tom Coonan, and then another 25 points back to both Russell Schaefer and John Payne. Now any one of these racers is capable of taking out tonight's event. I guess it's going to come down to who has a good night and who doesn't.
We're going to pick up the action in round 1 of Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Eliminator. Championship hopes on the line for them all. Steve Swinsko in the Super Performance Funny Car. And he's going to take on tonight's sponsor, Les Winter, in the Winter Smash Repairs 55 Chevy.
Yeah, Steve Swinsko certainly drawing a tough competitor here in Les Winter. We don't see Les a lot during the year, Rob, but here tonight, as you said, the event that he's sponsoring.
Well, Steve Swinsko has led the Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Series right from the outset. Here he goes, heads off. Yep. Les Winter really starting to put on some pressure.
Les goes straight past him for the win, a 6.80, 304 kilometres an hour.
Well, Steve Swinsko, he won't score any points tonight. For him to win the championship, he has to hope that all of the other potentials go out in the first round as well. John Payne in the JP Racing GDM Wreckers Corvette to take on Scott Jansen in the HQ. Now John Payne only 50 points behind Swinsko. If he wins this one, he starts to close that gap.
Scott Jansen there in the office, as we say, sitting behind the wheel of the HQ Holden and taking on John Payne. Now John's taken this out before in the track championship, Rob.
It's certainly the case. He's the defending Top Comp champion from the last season, and hangs the shootout early, just hangs on with a 7.57. He's got some more points on the board. Swinsko starting to hang on by the fingernails.
So John Moll now on the Holden Commodore, taking on Debbie Reed, the Reed Transport Dragster.
Both of these cars qualifying well this afternoon in conditions that aren't exactly favourable. It's quite cold here at Willowbank Raceway, and it's been threatening to rain all day. Unfortunately, it's kept the crowd away. We haven't actually had any rain, but just the threat of it, I guess, has kept the people at home.
But John Moll now just preparing to move forward, just getting those straps nice and tight there on Debbie Reed.
Moll and Reed, Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Racing, of course, on handicap. They dial in their own handicap, each racer. Nominate what time they think they can run. Debbie Reed, 7.03, 255 kilometres an hour. She's one step up the ladder.
Dean McLennan now driving the Castrol Funny Car, taking on one of our Northern Territorians who's down here once again, Matt Abel, driving the Abel Tiling Ford Capri.
And Matt, his third event here at Willowbank Raceway, has come down to stay a couple of months, took in the Coca-Cola Wild Bunch and of course the Conacher Winter Nationals. And now here he is at the Winter Smash Repairs Track Championship Grand Finals, and not in a position to win the series or anything, but of course in a position to be a spoiler.
Dean McLennan there, the crew from the Castrol Funny Car, just waiting for To watch the lights, away goes Matt Abel and the Ford Capri. Can Dean catch him? Matt Abel, the Capri. Yes, the Capri, 7:57, 282 kilometres an hour.
New car that we haven't seen at Willowbank Raceway before, Stephen DuPont, up from New South Wales. It's a 1948 5-window Ford. Now, I wouldn't have known that if it wasn't on the entry form, but beautifully prepared car, brand new. He'll be taking on Russell Schaefer in the Caloundra Wreckers Dragster. Now, Schaefer is in a position to win the Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Series, but he needs to go a few rounds to go past Steve Swinscoe.
Yes, so Russell Schaefer just backing it back there. I had the opportunity this afternoon to have a look over this 48 Ford of DuPont. Absolutely magnificent race car. If this isn't its first meeting, it's pretty close to it. It may have run at Canberra before here, but watch and see how it goes this time. A red light, would you believe? So it'll be Russell Schaefer driving the Caloundra Wreckers Dragster. He'll go through, takes the win there, running a 7:39, 291 kilometres an hour.
Things are getting more interesting in Wreckers Hotline Top Comp now as the contenders start to make their claims. Mark Brew in the Proforce BOC Gases top alcohol dragster doing a bit of testing. He's the number 1 qualifier today in Top Comp. Up against Tom Coonan in the Holtz Crane Hire CF Performance Ford Ltd. Coonan currently second in the points. If he can win this one, well, I think that just about puts him level with Swinscoe. It's going to be a close run thing. One of the things he's got to watch, of course, is this big 225 mile an hour top end charge from Mark Brew in the BOC car. Big handicap start. Coonan leaves hard. Now the chase is on.
Yeah, chasing hard as the dragster. Tom Coonan, though, will get there first. 7:52, 287.
Still in the first round of Wreckers Hotline Top Comp. And Steve Stanek driving Lucky Valeri's Lucky Toy Commodore up against Scott Leo in the competition performance Calais.
Quite a number of southern competitors joining us here for the Winter Smash Repairs Track Championship meeting. And the car of Steve Stanek there, as we said, Lucky Valeri owns the race car, but...
well, there's Lucky just locking up the door, going to send his driver on its way. Must be an unusual feeling standing outside the car and seeing it leave the start line.
So waiting now, Lucky's car there being driven by Stanek. Who's going to take this one out? Scott Leo's out in front. Stanek will have to go. All problems there for Stanek. So it'll be Leo with a 7:98, 230 kilometre an hour for the win.
Yeah, we saw there at half track for Steve Stanek. Have a look at it on the replay. Bang, the burst plate from the Supercharger. The engine's backfired. Fuel in the manifold is ignited, and he's going to cruise it through, get those chutes out. Not a happy night for him.
No, so our camera's really capturing that pretty well.
When it comes to close finishes, it doesn't get much closer than right here in Supercomp. Currently the leaderboard is tied between John Sting and Colin Lloyd, both on 275 points. Now the interesting thing here is there's exactly 100 points available at tonight's event, and it's 100 points that separates first and sixth place on that leaderboard. So any one of those runners could walk away with a championship title tonight.
There's some tough races here that have come up from New South Wales, and tonight the competition is pretty tough, actually, I'll say. I mean, we'll just take every round as we normally do when we're testing, and just give it our best shot.
Well, the influence of the southern races, as Kim Petterwood was saying there, will be felt. I think we had 24 drivers trying to qualify into the 16-car Lanati Supercomp field. We pick up the action in round one with Simpson to go up against Warren Dunn. Dunn in the Ford-powered dragster. Simpson, of course, in the Capri. And, Paul, this is going to be some very, very tough racing.
Yeah, tough racing indeed. Warren Dunn, they're formerly a bike racer, in fact, teaming up with Gary Bannerman, and quite successful in this car, taking on the Ford Capri. So they're both staged now, just waiting for those lights to go. The Capri gets away well. Here comes the Dragster to do the chasing. Jason Simpson, he's pedalling pretty hard there. This Dragster will have to go well to catch him. It can't do it. Jason Simpson, 913, 227 kilometres an hour.
So John Sting, one of the real contenders in the Performance Wholesale Super Comp Series. He'll be taking on Jason Bonney in this Performance Wholesale back Chimera. Now, Lunati Super Comp tonight, the points are at stake. 6 races could win the series, as Tanya was telling us. John Sting is just one of those. This Dragster has been absolutely dynamite since he debuted it late last year.
Just watching now, big wheel stand there as Bonnie leaves the line. Now can John Sting catch him? The Dragster's on a run this time. Here he goes, about level pegging with him and drives straight past for the win. 712, 300 kilometres an hour.
Charles Van Isseldijk now, one of the Sydney races we were talking about, qualified very strongly this afternoon, right up around the top of the field. A B Dragster, new engine combination, new car, up against Rod O'Brien in another new car, just licensed it this afternoon, this beautiful Melvin and O'Brien Pontiac Formula. All of the racing in Lunati Super Comp Eliminator run on the National Index system. They're handicapped on the performance index for their particular class.
So the pro stocker there, O'Brien at the wheel, just moving it in. Charles Van Isseldijk, as Rob said earlier, this is a brand new race car being debuted here at Willowbank this afternoon. The lights go to green. O'Brien in the pro stocker. Here comes Van Isseldijk. This Dragster's got a big charge. Through he goes. Charles Van Isseldijk, 775, 241 kilometres an hour.
Greg Lay in the Gold Coast Auto Wholesalers Roadster, winner of the Konica Winter Nationals. 500 cubic inches of big block Chevrolet to take on George Wegner in this G-Gas Corolla. This car is limited in the performance modifications allowed in the engine department. He'll get a fair sort of handicap start here. Cars from Superstock and Competition Eliminator combined. Have a look at that for a handicap. Greg Lay's got a lot of ground to make up, but that's a big engine.
Yes, he's doing it right now and seems to drive straight past. 779, 220 kilometres an hour for Greg Lay.
Another Roadster, Ron Newton, this time in the C-altered class for head-sent cylinder heads, up against Steve Brown in the Celica.
Yeah, the car of Ron Newton's, they're running a new combination this time around, not quite on the pace that we expect from him, but in beside him, Steve Brown. Steve, in fact, Rob, in qualifying this afternoon, ran a personal best, so let's see how he goes this time. Both go to green. Newton's out in front in the Roadster. Brown charging at him in the Celica. Oh, Newton will do it though, and through he goes. 880, 192 kilometres an hour.
Still with Lunati Super Comp Eliminator at the Winter Smash Repairs Track Championship Grand Finals. Rob Tucker driving his brother's Camaro in beside a later model Camaro for Mike Reilly.
Now watch this car also this afternoon. Dave Tucker had a drive earlier on, but had some transmission problems, so let's see if that's been sorted out. But taking on that immaculate race car of Mike Reilly. To the lights, they tumble to green, away they go, but problem still there with for the Tucker car. So it'll be Reilly who'll go through. 860, 199 kilometres an hour.
Jai Schluter, one of the chances in the Performance Wholesale Super Comp Series, driving his big block powered Falcon up against Colin Lloyd in the head-sent cylinder heads Commodore. Colin currently equal first in that point score. This is what we mean, there's plenty of chances in this one.
Oh, look, it's been tough. We've changed the engine, the gearbox, the rear end. We've only got to give it our best shot and to see how we come out with this one.
Well, Jai Schluter will have to get around Colin Lloyd. Lloyd qualified pretty well this afternoon. The car's been running strong. Lloyd a little bit late on the lights this time. Reaction time not quite so good. This will be very close.
Yeah, I think it'll be Schluter. Yes, 983, 221.
Kim Petterwood now in the Lifestyle Pontiac. He's seen a few chances fall in front of him. He's got a bye run. Tony Buckley hasn't been able to make the first round call, so he's got the chance to drive this car through. I don't think he'll run flat chat across the line. It'd hurt his index for future runs. shuts it down to an 8.15 207.
In comp bike, the championship battle is going to be played out in round 2 as John Parker and Gavin Spann face each other and head down the track for victory. It's not easy, it's not often that you get this sort of pressure in round 2.
No, I was hoping not to beat Gavin to the final, but we've been trying a few new things on the bike tonight, and anyway, we're back to standard again now, as we usually run.
And Gavin, I suppose even though you like winning an event, in this case round 2 is the ultimate goal.
Yes, I think so. Over the years, I've won a few track championships, and then the third one would be probably even better.
It all comes down to this. Gavin Spann on the Wiseco Suzuki. He'll be taking on John Parker on the Morgan & Wacker Harley Davidson. Whoever wins this wins the series, and of course no prizes for guessing who the sponsor Morgan & Wacker would like to see win. Of course, their sponsored racer John Parker on the Harley Davidson. Red lights, throws it away on the start line by a couple of thousandths of a second. Gavin Spann will be the Morgan & Wacker comp bike champion with a 7.76.
So the next pairing now to come to the line, Alex Cadas, and Alex taking on Craig Thompson on the Kawasaki.
Round 2 of Morgan & Wacker comp bike eliminator. 2 street class bikes, but handicap did apply. Looks like Thompson's going nowhere. Cadas, this thing a little bit evil in its handling, tends to wheel stand 9.46. He's into the semi-final.
Morgan & Wacker comp bike continues, and Fabio Crystal now riding the Crystal Paints Suzuki.
Fabio loves his burnouts. He goes through, I think, 2 tyres and a vent, would you believe. Daniel Petty on the comp bike Suzuki. These street class bikes have to run a treaded tyre, so Fabio likes to get it nice and hot. And Daniel Petty rolled the beams there by the look of it. A very early red light, a freebie. This is a gift to Fabio Crystal.
Yeah, Fabio rides it through, runs a 9.42.
Have you ever wanted to run down a drag strip in a real race car? A lot of people haven't had that opportunity. After 20 years around drag racing, until today, I'd never actually driven a dragster. I've raced motorcycles, I've raced sedans, I've even driven a pro stocker. But until this afternoon, I'd never actually driven one of these dragsters down a racetrack. Now, Ken Lowe of Ken Lowe Race Cars has established the drag racing school. The idea of this is it gives people the opportunity to do a short course, have involved a couple of days, learn all about drag racing, and then actually learn to drive this car. It's 8.3 litres of big block Chevrolet engine. This afternoon in my licensing, I got this car to run 9.5 seconds at around 230 kilometres an hour, and believe me, it's a ball. So with that tuition from Ken Lowe, I'm ready to go into the first round of Modified Eliminator tonight and just see exactly how well I go. But the school itself, a fantastic idea. Ken Lowe's drag racing school car is very typical of many of the vehicles we find in Modified Eliminator. The bracket caters for dragsters, altereds and hot rods competing on the dial-your-own handicap system. To qualify, a driver must run at least 10.99 seconds in time trials, but with these open-wheel cars being so light, you don't need a killer engine to go that quick. Modified Eliminator is often described as providing the best performance per dollar in the sport. Ken Lowe's Drag Racing School is designed to provide a complete newcomer or drivers from other categories wanting to step up a complete grounding in what it takes to compete and, of course, how to drive fast.
What we want to do is we want to show everybody what all the ins and outs are of racing a car competitively and winning.
The racing in Modified Eliminator is extremely competitive, with virtually all drivers fine-tuning their start line technique with the aid of trans brakes and electronic delay boxes. Now let's see how a rookie fares in his first race in Ken Lowe Race Cars Modified Eliminator.
So it's Rob Oberg now coming to the line, the Ken Lowe Dragster, taking on Dave Mullins in the Chevy-powered Dragster. So the two rails here tonight, Ken Lowe Race Cars bringing us modified. Rob Oberg at the wheel, the Drag Racing School Dragster. waiting now. Both cars are staged, waiting for those red light, would you believe, for Rob Oberg. So it'll be an automatic win here to Dave Mullins in the dragster. But keep an eye on this dragster. We'll call it as it goes on through. Rob Oberg runs a 9:58, 222 kilometres an hour.
Rob Oberg, Kenlow Race Cars Modified Eliminator, driving in a Kenlow Race Cars. What's the modified experience like?
I got to say, it's been absolutely fantastic. Kenlow has taken me through every step all day. It took a lot to get used to the start line with the delay box that these guys run. And then, I finally had the chance to race for a change. I've done a lot of passes, but to get out there beside Dave Mullins, who was, he was the runner-up at the Conacher Winter Nationals. And I had a shot at it. I know I red lighted. I saw the red cherry. I don't know how much by, but hey, I've had a ton of fun anyway. This is fantastic. I mean, the driving school is going to let people get in this car, learn how to race. I think it's the first 30 people to sign up is $1,200 or something, and they're going to get 3 full passes in this car. For $1,200, they'll know whether they want to keep going. I mean, then if they want to step in the modified and go racing in this category, then they'll know that they're committed to it, and they'll know that they're up to it. So I think, Chris, this is something that you should do.
$1,200 is money well spent.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's the best money you can spend in motorsport. It's just been a fantastic day. We really have to thank Ken Lowe and Tracy Lowe and everybody associated with the drag racing school.
So coming up now, Lanati Super Comp into round 2. Greg Lay driving the roadster, taking on Jason Simpson in the A1 Automotive Ford Capri.
So the National Index handicaps applying again, of course, and Greg Lay running the beat altered class. He will be giving away a bit of handicap start to Jason Simpson, but that big, awesome 500 cubic inch Grumpy Jenkins engine in the Roadster, it's a bit of a monster. This car with plenty of top speed potential. You see Crew Chief Bruce Agate there using a gauge to check the tyre temperature as the car's going to the line. Simpson a little bit out of the groove there.
Yeah,
gets
getting
very loose.
Crossed up there as Greg Lay drives straight past him, and Greg Lay runs a 792 at 208 kilometres an hour.
Ronnie Newton now in the HeadSense cylinder heads Roadster. He's still charging along in the C-altered class, up against Kim Petterwood in the Lifestyle Pontiac. Now Petterwood, one of the chances in the Performance Wholesale Super Comp Series. Ronnie Newton will get the handicap start. Petterwood actually came out here just to do some testing. He normally only runs in Super Comp to do some testing, but he's done so well that he's one of the contenders for the championship.
Newton taking on Petterwood here. Newton's going well. Petterwood's coming up beside him. Well, this is going to be a close one. Petterwood 787, 275.
Good pass there from Petterwood. Now John Sting in the Chevy Dragster up against Mike Reilly. Sting's in the box seat for the series. If he wins this, he wins the championship. That's the equation. And if not, well, I think things might still be a little bit open. But John Sting has been very, very competitive. He will be giving the start to Mike Reilly in the Pro Stocker. Away goes the Camaro. Sting comes out on a pretty hot light on that chase and looks to have this one under control.
Yeah, great power from this dragster. John Sting 728, 251 for the win.
Charles Van Isseldijk now in this new Chevy Dragster from New South Wales. As I was saying earlier, qualified very strongly, would probably have to be the one of the hot favourites for the event. Jai Sluter, well, he would now be looking at second in the series, I think, because he knows that John Sting has it wrapped up. Sluter in the AMS sedan, a big block Ford up front.
Well, problems there for Charles Van Isseldijk. Very slow getting off the line. Jai Sluter taking all the advantage of it, straight through for the win. 971, 222.
Moving now to round 2 of Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Eliminator. John Payne to take on Debbie Reed. Payne still in the running for the championship. Can he make it 2 years in a row? This is only the second year that Top Comp has been run at Willowbank Raceway. A bracket that was born and bred here in Queensland. It was conceived by Dennis Surmas, the Willowbank Raceway track manager. and it has been extremely successful. Wreckers Hotline Top Comp this year has provided some of the best racing of the lot. Here comes Reed. She's got him. 695, 272 kilometres an hour.
Yeah, gee whiz, that's a close race. Tom Coonan coming forward now in the Ford Capri.
Well, Tom, with the solo run this pass, he defeated the number one qualifier in the first round. There was an uneven number in the second round of racing, so Tom takes one step up the ladder. Swinsco's out. Payne's out. The equation is starting to come down and down. Tom Coonan in the Holtz Crane Hire car gets to check out his dial-in. He's nominated 7.50 as his handicap. 754. Hey, he's running pretty hot.
Good form tonight. Next pairing now, Scott Leo, the Competition Performance Commodore. Wreckers Hotline bringing us top comp eliminator here tonight. Scott Leo there at the wheel, taking on Matt Abel from Darwin.
Abel in the Abel Tiling Services OG Speed Shop Capri. Scott Leo has been doing some pretty good things in the SL Race Fabrications Competition Performance Commodore. Abel, has he really enjoyed his time down here in South Queensland?
Yeah, considering the competition down here, Rob, Matt Abel's doing particularly well, but not here tonight. A problem there on the line. So it looks as though Scott Leo will take this one easily. Oh, what would you believe? He's broken out. A 7.73. Scott Leo, goodness me.
Leo has run quicker than his nominated handicap time. He breaks out. He's disqualified. So Matt Abel will get to come back for the semi-final.
Oh, a bit of luck there. Russell Schaefer now, the Caloundra Wreckers dragster. And Russell Schaefer,
he's due to run Les Winter. We see his car still in the background there behind the burnout area. The Winter Smash Repairs 55 Chevy. The crew are over the bonnet. That's the one I'm looking at. Hasn't fired yet, and we know that Russell Schaefer likes to go in and stage fairly quickly. So I think Les Winter might be in trouble here. The car still hasn't fired. It will be a solo. I'm pretty sure of that. The crew are asking. Russell is waiting. And he's had the signal. Yes, it is a solo. Bad luck for Les Winter. The Winter Smash Repairs car can't make the call. So Russell Schaefer will go on his own.
So Russell Schaefer takes the advantage there, tests his machine as he runs on down, and eases right off on it there. So Russell Schaefer goes into the next round, and the end of the road tonight for Les Winter. The next major meeting at Willowbank Raceway is Saturday night, August the 29th, when we go bracket racing. It's a first for Willowbank Raceway, based on an American idea where we have two brackets for those cars and bikes that are quicker than 12.99 seconds and those that are 13 seconds and slower. You'll see stars of modified, top comp, super sedan and super street all going for a prize money purse that'll be based on the number of entries. We pool all the entry money and then split it up among the winners. We could see somebody taking home as much as $4,000. Competitors from all over Australia will be here at Willowbank Raceway Saturday night, August the 29th.
Round two, semi-final time now of Morgan and Wacker's comp bike eliminator. Fabio Crystal on the Crystal Paint Suzuki. He has the bye run this round and running a street bike. This bike ran 154 miles an hour earlier on this afternoon. Let's see what sort of speed he comes up with on this pass. He uses this technique where he slides the clutch and then tries to get the power down.
So Fabio now winding this bike up. Watch the speed, 247 kilometres an hour, 9.31 seconds.
Gavin Spann now, the new Morgan and Wacker Comp Bike Championship Series winner. He's into this semi-final race up against Alex Cadas. Gavin Spann, of course, at the Konica Winter Nationals, I think made the semi-final of Piranha Insurance's Top Bike Eliminator. Here at the track championship events, he just loves to get in there and mix it up on handicap in comp bike.
So Alex Cadas, he's a tough competitor. I was watching him this afternoon in qualifying and rides a lot with his feet there, just balancing the bike. You can see that pretty well. Our camera's catching it. Alex Cadas, Gavin, Spann, Alex Cadas, 9:21, 2:44 kilometres an hour.
Semi-final time now for Lanati Super Comp Eliminator. John Sting is the Performance Wholesale Super Comp champion. He's got the points. Unbeatable lead now. Greg Lay, he'll just be trying to move to the final, I think. No doubt, though, you'd have to say John Sting would be looking forward to try and make a big finale to the season.
Yeah, both of these guys have had a big year, and both cars are really super competitive. Both guys also, not only their race cars, but their nature as well, both wanting to win. Greg Lay, of course, taking out the Winter Nationals here only a few weeks ago.
John Sting, actually, I don't think has won an event this season. He's been in plenty of finals, plenty of semis. He's been the most consistent of all the Super Comp cars. He's trying to catch Greg Lay. Can't do it. Lay goes to the final, 7:51, 2:71.
Greg Lay, this is a repeat of the Winter Nationals into the final of Super Comp in this particular case, and this B Alta just keeps on hauling.
Yeah, well, we've been playing hooky with them today. We didn't top qualify. And so we were back in the pack a bit, but we've been sneaking up on them, and I think we're going into the final with a little bit of confidence.
Well, you've beaten John Sting, but John takes out the track championship, so a double win for both races.
Congratulations to John. He's a very good racer. I really admire the way they've taken on A Dragster. Their index had been knocked around before they got here, so I really think that's great that John's won, if that's the case.
Yeah, fine sportsman is Greg Lay, so looking forward to seeing him a little later on. Kim Petterwood now taking on Jai Schluter.
Well, these guys are fighting out for second in the series. Schluter against Petterwood. Both can end up number 2 in Performance Wholesale Super Comp Eliminator. An outstanding performance when you consider that I think Petterwood's only run the category 3 or 4 times through the series to do some testing with his pro stocker. Schluter's out strongly. I think Petterwood's going to need something very stout here. Schluter hanging on. No, Petterwood can get him. 7:85. That's another good number. Let's take a look back on the start line. Have a look at the emotions of a crew.
Kim Petterwood into another final of Lanati Super Comp up against that tough B Alta to Greg Lay. How do you think he'll go?
Oh, Greg's going to be pretty tough. Greg's a good driver, been around a long time. Good car, good motor. He's just getting a handle on it, and there's good things to come out of that. Yeah, he's going to be a tough race, and that'll be one to, if we win that one, it'll be one to appreciate.
All the money on the line now in Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Eliminator. This semi-final battle, Russell Schaefer in the Caloundra Wreckers Dragster up against Tom Coonan in the Holtz Crane Hire car. Whoever wins this is the 1997-98 Wreckers Hotline Top Comp champion and will collect the bonus money.
Well, we've certainly seen some fine runs out here tonight, but I've got a feeling this is going to be another one of them. The Dragster up against the Ford LTD.
Isn't this what Top Comp's all about? The mixture of open wheel cars, sedans, funny cars, all on handicap. Coonan came out with a big hard leave. Here comes Schaefer.
Coonan there, 7.50, 2.89 for the win. Just watching this one on the replay, look at that. LTD come off the line. Tom Coonan well under control, kept the foot in it all the way. Russell Schaefer charged up to him, but Tom Coonan's the winner.
Wreckers Hotline Top Comp. Tommy Coonan, you're the track champion. 7.52 on a 7.50 at 180 mile an hour.
It was a tough pass. The car today has been leaving harder than ever has before. We've struggled with it a little bit to try and correct that. We haven't at this stage. I had to do a fair bit of driving that time to get the car down the track. I had a little bit of a lead in the light, but I knew Russell would be there at the end. It was a great race, and it's a great way for the track championship to finish up. I mean, for Top Comp, Wreckers Hotline, our sponsors, CF Performance and Holtz Crane Hire, we're just that happy. It's been a season that's been very tough. Our engine builder, my partner in business, Bob Faulkner, I can't thank him enough for a magnificent engine. The thing hadn't missed a beat, and it just goes quicker every run. And you can't forget a crew. I mean, with a car like this, you've got a crew. Without that, you just can't race like this.
Well, Tom's into the final to take on the winner of the next pairing, and it's between Matt Abel driving the Ford Capri and Debbie Reed in the Reed Transport Dragster.
Still another one of these battles with the sedans taking on the open wheel dragsters. The formula for Wreckers Hotline Top Comp is fairly simple. You need to qualify quicker than 8.3 seconds, and you must have a supercharger. That's about it. Other than that, you nominate your own handicap time, in you go, and it is a real driver's class. It's a case of horsepower is important, of course, but driving ability's more so. Abel with a red light this time, still with a problem with the car. Hey, Debbie Reed's got a cruise. She's going to go to the final with a 694, 304 kilometres an hour.
Debbie Reed, 691 at 190. Your sponsors will be happy with this.
Yes, they will. They've given me a great hand here today. That's Bob Grant Automatics and the Converter Shop and Jack Brothers Engineering. They've been really good. Not to say, Champion and Pennzoil have done well too, but it'll be a tough final against Tom, and I'm looking forward to it.
Good luck, Deb.
Thank you.
Final time now for all the support categories. Performance Wholesale, Lenati Junior Dragster, Ben Bray to take on Diana Harker. We must also congratulate Mark Allen, the new champion for Performance Wholesale, Lenati Junior Dragster. But hey, this will be a great final. The boys against the girls. There's plenty of rivalry with the juniors. Ben Bray's already looking over his shoulder, but here comes Diana.
Yeah, Diana's charging at him. Diana, this is a close race. Ben Bray's the winner, 11:66, 83 kilometres an hour.
Superformance Super Street Eliminator, Jim Kahlo in the Westside Paint and Panel Zephyr. He's charged through the final where he's going to meet Ross Munster. Munster has successfully defended his Superformance Super Street Championship. He's got the points on the board. Championship number 2 in a row.
Yes, he's going to take this one because it's a red light on the tree there for the Zephyr. So as they drive on through, it'll be Ross Munster to take the win and to wrap up another track championship winning year.
Final time now for Pipe Masters Motorcycle Exhausts Modified Bike Eliminator. Daryl Hinson on the Yamaha. He's up against Stephen Saint on the Kawasaki. Once more, it's congratulations to Travis Sage, who won the points battle, but not quite the meeting tonight. Another red light on the tree, and this time, of course, cruising across the line to take the win will be Daryl Hinson in 10.8 seconds.
Final coming up now, Prager Performance Super Sedan, and it's Kevin Bradley in the permacoloured Datsun. Kevin taking on Juan Kudnig in the Commodore. Now, this isn't the first time that they've actually met in the final.
No, this is a replay of the Konica Winter Nationals Craig R Performance Super Sedan final. That was won, of course, by Juan Kudnik. Well, he's won just about everything this year. He's won the Australian Championship, and he's certainly won the Craig R Performance Super Sedan category of the Winter Smash Repairs Track Championships, and he's won this one as well, a 985, 219 kilometres an hour.
So Kenlow Race Cars Modified Eliminator, the final now, Bob Millett in the T-Bucket to take on this Roadster, the 27 Roadster of Chris Reed.
Chris Reed defeated David Mullins, the guy that beat me in the first round. Chris defeated Mullins in the semi-final, but David Mullins with enough points to claim the Kenlow Race Cars Modified Series. Let's see who's going to get this meeting. Reed has red lighted. There's a few cherries in this final. So Bobby Millett, Mr. Modified, gets another one, 883, 240 kilometres an hour.
So Fabio Crystal now into a final, Morgan and Wacker competition bike to take on Alex Gadas on the Suzuki.
All of the championship action happened in the second round, of course. This is just for the event, and these guys will fight it tooth and nail. 2A street bikes. Cadas has got a wheel in front, I think.
Yeah, Cadas takes the win, 935, 240 kilometres an hour. We're moving in now to Supercomp, brought to you by Lenati, the final. Kim Petterwood in the Lifestyle Pontiac, taking on Greg Lay in the Roadster.
Kim Petterwood is going to end up second in the Performance Wholesale Supercomp Series. Of course, that was wrapped up by John Sting and the Dragster. Now, Petterwood's got a pretty good record in these Supercomp brackets. Gets out. He's got another one. A red light for Greg Lay. Looked like some sort of problem with the car creeping. And Petterwood, 790, 274 kilometres an hour.
Well, there you go.
Kim Petterwood, Lenardi Super Comp winner, beating an out-of-shape Greg Lay. Tough race?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be tough, and my light wasn't in flash. I looked up and thought, oh, 551, that's not going to be good enough. And then I looked up and his was a 1, whatever it was. And I thought, oh, he must have red lit. And then he didn't pull up alongside me. I thought, I'll take it.
Congratulations, Kim.
Thanks a lot.
So another happy winner here tonight as we move now into Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Final. Tom Coonan, the Ford LTD, taking on Debbie Reed and the Dragster.
This Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Series has had it all. It's been a fantastic year of racing in this Supercharged category. Debbie Reed was one of the early winners of Top Comp in its initial year. She's had a bit of a lean season so far in 97-98. Great to see her back in a final. Tom Coonan, well, he and Steve Swinsko, I think, have been the dominant forces. Swinsko was really on fire in the early part of the season, and it's been Coonan that's been able to just progressively peg back that series lead through the second half of the Wreckers Hotline Top Comp year. And it was a fitting end that it came right down to a 4,000ths of a second victory in the semi-final for Tom Coonan to wrap up the series. Now he wants to try and add the Winter Smash Repairs Track Championship Grand Finals trophy to it. Debbie Reed doesn't want to give it to him though.
No, Tom Coonan takes it. Yes, 750-288.
As he goes around the car, the winner of Wreckers Hotline Top Comp and Winter Smash Repairs Track Champion, 750 on a 750, 180 mile an hour. You couldn't cap off the season any better than that.
It's not a bad pass, is it? I think the light was a 411 too. I think Debbie's was a 50.
She broke out catching it.
Is that right? Yeah. There was a lot of pressure off after the semis. Figured that I'd go for a light, see what would happen. This car's unbelievable. It's just a magic thing to drive. It's been a little bit untidy off the line today, but it's just fun to drive it. I mean, it's not a matter of hopping in there and steering it anymore. You've got to physically drive the car. And once again, I'd just like to thank the engine builder, my partner, Bob Faulkner. He's done a magnificent job. It's just 109 60 footers is incredible. I'd like to thank the crew. And once again, without a crew, to run a car like this is impossible. It's pretty quick turnaround times. I'd like to thank our other sponsor, which is Holtz Crane Hire. Come on board with us this year. It's fantastic, and you know, it's just great that we can give them some exposure that they so well deserve. And also Willowbank Raceway for having the top comp, and also Wreckers Hotline for supporting the bracket. And hopefully they've got the money's worth out of it too.
Tommy Coonan, you're a worthy champion. Congratulations.
Thank you.